Alright, hey everyone, Noah Walker here, back again with my video series Accumulated Knowledge for Team Cardhoarder. We are playing Miracles, Joe Lissette's Miracles list, against my good friend Harlan, battling with some Eldrazi. So here we are with our third match, and I won the die roll, so yes, I would like to play. This hand's totally fine. Has a Brainstorm, has a Force, has some lands, two of which are fetch lands. Definitely a keep. Nothing spectacular, but I think that it's definitely a keep. So I think the real question here is how aggressive I want to get with my brainstorms. I think that maybe it's correct to be saving brainstorms a little bit more. Yeah, definitely not countering this endless one. Force of Will is way too valuable, but yeah, as I was saying, I think it might be right to be saving these a little. But our hand is so air that like I just want to fire it off. A reason to save them is definitely for stuff like the possibility of finding just a naturally drawn terminus. I'm gonna shuffle back these. I think I'm gonna Tarn, just ponder right now. Well, it doesn't matter if I get a basic or not. So he plays Wasteland. We don't have anything that matters really for basics, though. I think it's more important that we have both of these right now, so. Snap and some fetch lands. Or sorry, snap and a land and a fetch. Snap's actually probably okay. So we basically just want lands because we have the Jace. Snap is okay because we can pitch to Force of Will. But I'm kind of looking for something like a terminus. But also keeping Snap means that we have Brainstorm. Let me put the fetch land last. Let me put the island Snap. Let me think about this a little bit more. So if we keep the Snapcaster, next turn we can play basic land, pass, probably Force of Will, whatever he plays, Snapcaster, Brainstorm, block. So since the Snapcaster actually trades with Endless One, I'm not going to shuffle. Because then it means that we can Force of Will basically whatever he plays that's like super bad for us, unless he has, of course, like a Cavern or something, but not a whole lot we can do about that. But also we can just straight up like play Snapcaster for Ponder next turn, which is actually probably a little bit better than any other play we could do with it. So I think I'm going to do that. Force that, pitch counterbalance. Yeah, I actually really like this setup. Snap, Ponder. Come together pretty nicely. Ooh, okay. I actually think it's fine to keep these cards because we'll just throw away the spell snare to the Force of Will on whatever he plays. Draw the second Force of Will. Shuffle away the land with the strand. Play Jace, Brainstorm. Just have a good setup. Cavern of Souls is the bane of my existence. Smasher, okay. Like, I almost still think that I'm just going to play Jason Brainstorm, though. Because now we just need to find a terminus or something like that. Almost makes me wish that I'd kept a land on top instead of these forces and such, but what can you do? I think plains might be better. Plains in case he wastelands one of the tundras. Jace, Brainstorm. A million lands. That's not good. We got a lot of lands here. That is not good. So like Oh, I guess you could just play a Reality Smasher and that would kill us. The easy way out. Yeah. So Cavern of Souls is just so good against this deck. Like I felt pretty far ahead this game. If he just has like the two Eldrazi temples, maybe plays another land. Like if we can just force of will his threats, and keep the Jason play, then it's hard to lose. But it gets much stickier when he plays something like Cavern of Souls. You know, starts applying threats like Reality Smasher, just killing us with them. And there's like very little to do about just getting Reality Smashered out here. So I'm just gonna concede this game. So yeah, I think that the opening hand was solid. The ponders were like pretty fine too. I was excited to be able to get a lot of good value out of the Force of Wills, just because normally they're not great in this matchup because of Cavern. They're not like horrible or anything, but they're never fantastic. And I was like, okay, he just has two Eldrazi temples, you know, we'll be able to get some good value out of these forces. Then just played Cavern, and we were dead. So I think that will happen a good amount in these matchups. They'll just play a Cavern, and but we did draw all three of the Force of Wills. So like if we draw something like a little more mix of plows, then maybe it's a little closer. But I don't know. We just seem to be getting smashed in this matchup. So let's move on to sideboarding. I think that post board is definitely where this gets a little more favorable for Miracle's deck. So I'm going to keep trying what I've been trying for this board. Board out the counterbalances. Board out the spell snares. Actually, let me reconsider the spell snares. So like what we've seen in these matchups is that in game 2 he brings in Thorn of Amethyst. So spell snare is really good against that card. Really good against that card. Sorry, hiccuped. Really good against that card. It's really good against Warping Whale. It's really good against Chalice. So maybe, just maybe, Spell Snare is a little bit better than originally advertised. But also it's like a type of card that if it's not in our opening hand, then it's not going to do very much in the matchup. Because he only really wants to be casting stuff like Chalice and Thorn of Amethyst on the first couple turns of the game. So I think I'm just going to continue boarding how we've boarded. Bring in the Wear Tears, bring in the Moats, bring in the Plow, bring in the Back to Basics. And keep trying this out. Hopefully we can just get it early Back to Basics and he can do nothing about it. I think that's definitely the best way to beat this Eldrazi deck, but this hand's great though. It has Wear and Tear, which is one of our best cards against them. It has Brainstorm and Terminus, which are Terminus is probably the second best. I mean, Terminus is probably better than Wear and Tear, but in post-board games, Wear and Tear does so much work, so. Alright. Question is, how do I want to start this off? Probably just Plains. I don't want to play Volk, because if he has like a Wasteland heavy hand, then he might just go over to the Volk. Like, alright, just doing it. So, I almost wanted to play something so that we could Brainstorm, but there's no real reason to cast Brainstorm on turn 1 anyway, so. Thorn. Yep, it resolves. So, I'm considering casting the Ponder here, but I sort of want to leave up Brainstorm in case that he has something like Thought-Knot Seer. Because if he plays Thought-Knot Seer, we Brainstorm, we can put back the Terminus and the Wear Tear. So I think it's a little more important this game to save the Brainstorm because we're in a pretty good spot here, but it could be a little problematic. So, ooh, just wastes us immediately. That's kind of rough because we really wanted to cast this Wear Tear, but okay. I almost wanted to Brainstorm response, but I don't think it's worth it. Ooh, top's great though. I'm just gonna get that top out there. So I actually forgot to look. I don't remember if this list has 2 volcanic islands. Actually, yes, it does. It has 2 volks. That will be really helpful. Thought-Knot? Okay, on this one for 4. Not horrible. I was about to be really upset. I was like, come on. But, kind of want to just Brainstorm here and put this Terminus back on top. got 2 Terminus. The back to basics is pretty sick here too, actually. It sucks that Ibugen kind of gets around back to basics pretty well, but aside from that, I think the back to basics will be really good. Kind of hoping he plays another threat here, honestly, just to get a little bit better value out of this Terminus, but I think we're going to Miracle it anyways, just because we have 2 of them. And next turn, if we don't want to draw the other Terminus, then we can just move it around with the top, so. I had the Warping Will, okay. Normally I'd be super upset about him having the Warping Will there. I mean, not like, oh no, how lucky Warping Will, but like just, that is bad for us. Because it is pretty bad for us. But we have a second Terminus, so it shouldn't be horrible for us. Ooh, maybe here he's playing something like... Chalice on 1. Okay. That's actually fine-ish. Just because we have the wear tear, so we can deal with it like that. So the real question here is on upkeep, if we want to use this top. I'm kind of leaning towards yes. Just because I really want lands. And I kind of want to save the Terminus. Like, I don't think he has another Warping Will, and I think that he'll jam another threat if he has one, so. But here, yeah, we're just really looking for lands. Okay. So I'm going to put the Entreat last, then the Terminus on the island. Draw this island, play it, and I'm just going to pass the turn. So here, if he plays something like Reality Smasher, I'm just going to throw the Snapcaster under the bus and then Miracle the Terminus. But only something like Reality Smasher, because Reality Smasher means that our clock is like significantly, like scarier. If you go down to 2, then any like Reality Smasher in the future kills us. So I think this is the best way to do it. Soon, though, he can start fetching up stuff with Ibugen, and that's when stuff gets really problematic, or like possibly problematic, should I say. Yeah, this turn, even he can fetch up something with Ibugen. So I think I'm going to spin the top. Ooh, okay. I actually want to draw the Snapcaster this turn. Oh, dang. So, I was thinking about playing the back to basics, because then he can't use the Ibugen ever. But then we get stuck with the we no longer have Terminus on top dilemma. You know what? I think that's fine. If we let him use Ibugen here, then we're not going to win, like, ever. So I think I'm just going to draw the Snapcaster Mage, crack this fetch for, I mean, I guess, like, a land so that we can use Wear and Tear, and then just cast it back to basics and pray. That can't be the right play. I guess we'll have to get basic planes, then play back to basics, and just give up on this Wear Tear plan. I don't know. This is really tough. This is a really tough decision. I think back to basics is our best shot at winning, though. So, as bad as it feels, I'm just gonna shuffle away that Terminus. You know what? I don't even know if Snapcaster is the best draw here. So maybe I should just fetch now. Okay, entreat is pretty good, even though it will only be for one. Top's really bad, so let's put that last. Let's draw. Snapcaster now, entreat next turn, I suppose. Back to basics. And chip. It's like we're still super dead to a Reality Smasher here, obviously, but I think this is our best shot at maybe surviving this game, so. And if he decides to do something like super tricky, like just naturally drew the Smasher. Okay. So, yeah, it turns out this matchup is really tough. Post board, when they have Thorn and Chalice, it just makes it so hard for me to, like, cast any of my spells in, like, reasonable, like, at a fine time, even. Like, everything just costs so much mana. All this stuff is so efficient. He has so many resources. Like, it sucks that we weren't able to get good value out of either of the Terminuses this game. Like, we could have cast that one, but then he just end of turn fetches up Rally Smasher taking 4. His life total doesn't matter, so he just takes 4. And then this is happening. So we'd be at same life total with a Reality Smasher, just a Reality Smasher coming at us. So we just basically have to draw a Terminus, like, almost every turn of the game. So I think that playing the back to basics was actually correct, as risky as it felt, because then it means that he has to draw a threat, like, very, very soon. But yeah, we just got pretty much, like, destroyed. They have a lot of good stuff to line up post board. I thought that, like, this deck might even be a little close to favored post board, just because of all the great stuff that it has, you know, all the Terminuses and stuff. But Warping Welt's great, Thorn's great, Reality Smasher's obviously very good. But yeah, we are dead. Some good games, some relatively not close matches though. Some were okay, like, as far as, you know, being close went. But for the most part, we just got smashed over and over again by this Eldrazi deck. I think that you know, it's possible that my Cyber Plan wasn't fantastic. Like, maybe Spell Snare's a little better than I thought it was. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Click is even better than I thought it was. Maybe it's better than, like, a Snapcaster or something. But what really I think went wrong is he always had a Chalice relatively early, and then we didn't have a Plow at any point. So, like, if we'd drawn more Sword Splashers, which I think is definitely one of the most important cards in this matchup, and, like, pair that with Snapcaster Mage, then you can get around basically anything that isn't Chalice. So him having early Chalices, plus the combination of us not drawing very many Plows, made it much tougher matchup than maybe usual. So definitely fun. I had a lot of fun playing against Eldrazi. Kind of an annoying deck though. It's like poops out creatures really early with all this mana stuff, but with some good games.